Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another video today. Today we will be getting a channeled message for the collective. This is a general read. Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, ancestors, guides, I ask that you please guide me, protect me, assist me, providing clear and concise messages for the collective for their benefit and to me. Thank you for this. Okay, you guys, we're just going to jump right into it. Holy Spirit, Heavenly Father, messages for the collective. What is the collective meaning at this time? Messages for the collective, please. What is the collective meaning at this time? Justice? Justice. Okay. So scales are being balanced. Someone could be in justice. Someone could work in justice. Someone could be a Libra. Someone could be like walking karma. That's the energy I'm getting. Someone is a just individual. Or this could be, something happening, karmic law. Or this could have something to do with something going on in the justice system here on the 3-day. We'll see. Okay. Thank you so much. What about this? Justice. What about this? Justice. The scales. I'm getting the scales. Okay. What about these scales? What about this justice? What does the collective meaning know about this justice? Someone's in a nightmare. 9 of Swords. Okay. Messages about this justice. What does the collective meaning know about this? Messages. Okay, thank you. The 8 of Pentacles. So someone works for the law, or the law is working. Someone's hard at work, bringing someone to justice. So someone could, work in the justice system. Someone could be a judge. Someone could work in law or something like that. This individual or this energy could be working very hard to bring, the scales into balance. Or this is, your good work. You are walking karma. Justice in the 8 of Pentacles. Someone works for the justice system. That's the clearest messaging. So someone could have been set up and they're now facing consequences to the setup, right? Someone could work in the justice system, and that individual could be a corrupt individual. They could be going through nightmares right now because, imbalanced deeds or imbalanced actions taken, especially on cases or investigations or things having to do with law, or things happening in courtroom, or things having, to do with corruption happening on official levels. This is something that, people could be facing repercussions for now. Karma coming back. to haunt people who have done wrong. Imbalanced things being balanced, the scales being balanced, the Nine of Swords. It's a nightmare for somebody. Someone's facing justice. Okay, someone is hard at work bringing criminals to justice. Someone is good at their job. This is an upright individual, or there's a large group of them. Okay, there are plenty of good actors for every small actor. It is not the other way around. I don't believe that. I think the majority of people are good. It's just that the bad ones are a little louder. That's all. So, empty cans and all that, right? Messages for the collective. What about this? Eight of Pentacles. Someone works for the justice system. King of Pentacles. Okay, it could be an earth sign, or this could be you. You could work for the justice system. You could be a King of Pentacles. This could be about a wealthy individual. Someone could have brought something to the attention of the law. This could be a King of Pentacles who did this. Okay? So this King of Pentacles, it's not really giving negative energy. So someone is hard at work. This could be the King of Pentacles who's hard at work. This could be the upright individual who works for the justice system. Okay? Or this could be someone very solid here in the environment. Someone who is comfortable here in the environment. A King of Pentacles in the upright. Someone who is not going to give over unto corruption or give unto base desires. Someone who is a King of Pentacles in the upright. Someone who's hard at work with the Eight of Pentacles in the upright and the Justice in the upright. A just individual, a just earth sign male in the upright. Someone who's good at their job. Someone who's good at their work. Someone who works for the law or works in the justice system or something like that. Okay, that's the energy here. So this could be you, this could be a person, this could be someone external to you. Take it as it resonates. Someone, however, is in a Nine of Swords. Someone is in a nightmare. I don't feel that it's you, and I don't feel that it is this King of Pentacles, because there's positive energy here. They're not giving nightmare energy. Let's see, let's get a clarifier for this. Six of Cups, someone from your past. This could be someone from your family. So an earth sign that you knew previously, an earth sign that you've known from childhood. This could be you, a member of your family, someone you have children with, someone you've known since childhood friend or something like that. This could be your ex or a family member. Okay. So someone from your past, people from your past events, or events that involved people from your past, or events that were orchestrated in the past. Six of Cups, nostalgic feelings, good memories, good happy memories. Messages for the collective. We had a clarifier for this King of Pentacles. Is this King of Pentacles Chariot on the bottom? This King of Pentacles could be an emperor. So they could be your father or your husband, your ex, your person. This could be you. Seven of Swords. As a clarifier for the King of Pentacles. So someone could have been trying to get away with something in regards to this King of Pentacles. Someone could have been trying to talk the King of Pentacles into doing something sneaky. Someone could have been trying to steal from the King of Pentacles, or the King of Pentacles could have been being sneaky or doing something undercover, something. Chariot on the bottom. Okay. So the King of Pentacles could have been pretending to be some other way than they are, or somebody else than they are, for a good reason. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, these were fated events. Okay. So the King of Pentacles could have been involved in sneaky, subversive behavior because that was their job. This could be someone you know from your past. This could be someone who was someone you looked up to, or is someone you look up to. This could be someone who is or was a family member of yours. This individual could have actually even passed over. So this, because I'm getting the energy of someone looking down upon you, or that this individual, if it's a parental figure or a role model or someone who would love you closely like that, like family would, like a husband, or, you know, somebody close enough like that. The protector energy, it's almost like someone who has passed over, a parent, a grandparent, a great-grandparent, or something like that, a close family member, someone who was protective of you and felt protective over you during their lifetime. They're still protective over you after having passed. So this individual who is still here, this individual represented by the King of Pentacles, could be a person here in the environment who represents the way this individual was with you when they were here in the environment, the individual who has now passed over, or the individual who is here in the environment is sort of channeling the energies of this individual who has passed over. So this energy of protection has been passed down, and it is to the benefit of you, basically. So this individual could have been, you know, doing God's good work, working undercover, either, you know, directed by God, or it could be a part of their job. That could be, they could work in law, right? So there could have been events transpiring that that really couldn't be all out in the open at the time, and then some events obviously will never be completely out in the open because things might be, you know, to the detriment of a case, especially something like an open investigation or something like that. So there are some negative energies who are either old energies for you that are still just hanging on. They're trying to hang on. They're trying to be relevant for you. So they're trying to show up in the read because they're not relevant in your life anymore, right? Or there are these negative energies because you somehow know people who are involved in this type of work. So this could be family members of yours, or this could be people you know somehow, some way. Perhaps even people, if not family, perhaps even people you knew from childhood. So childhood friends or something like that, or someone you have children with. This could be an ex or a current partner of yours. Take it as it resonates. Okay. King of Pentacles. This could be your husband or your ex-husband, and this individual could have thought that you were cheating. So they could have hired someone to sort of get to work on balancing the scales, basically. So if you're with someone who thought you were cheating and you were not cheating, then one of two things is likely scenario there. That individual themselves is cheating, which is why they are afraid you are cheating, right? Or that individual themselves is allowing themselves to be led astray in thought or in action by external forces or other people, third parties. Someone got in their ear and then they made the choice to believe lies about you, or they were already entertaining third parties, and so, like I said, they themselves might have been cheating, or even they themselves might have been or be right at this moment emotionally cheating, right? Like, there are stages to relationships, especially when we're talking about the breakdown of a relationship. A lot of times someone who doesn't cheat in the physical will cheat in their mind, or will emotionally cheat even if they never bring it into fruition in the material. Sometimes this is something that they do, and it is a signaling of the end of a relationship for them, because they've lost interest, or because they no longer have desire for the person, or because they no longer trust the person for whatever reason. And it might be because of their own betrayal. It might be because of their own straying away, right? Like, if somebody you're with before entertained third parties, even if it didn't get physical, if they were an emotional cheater, right, then they might feel insecure about the fact that they're doing that, because they know that is wrong. Even though nothing happened, they were in their mind with someone else, or they were in their emotions with someone else, right? They might have imagined things with someone else, or they might have been feeling that they were happier when they're around someone else. And instead of looking at themselves for that, they might have projected that out onto you, or for whoever this message is about, right? So this individual could have thought, or have allowed themselves to be talked into thinking that you were being sneaky, were lying to them, were stealing from them, or that you were cheating on them. And that might be because that individual themselves might have been being sneaky toward you, lying to you, thieving from you, or cheating on you. And while these things are difficult to deal with, you know, these things are all, they're fated events. It's meant to happen, right? So the wheel of fate, this is, you know, the karma coming back around to somebody who's in a nightmare right now, somebody who tried to put you in a nightmare, or somebody who did, you know, see you in a nightmare situation and didn't do anything about it, or someone who, you know, joined in on making a situation a nightmare for you, or making it worse for you. So, you know, that behavior or that intention, that will be mirrored back to them. That is their fate. You could be this walking karmic energy for people who treat you badly, or who wish to project their own bad intentions, behaviors, actions, emotions, and whatnot onto you. You only reflect that back at them, much like the universe is going to reflect their own energy back at them. And that's fate. That's karmic law. That's the scales being balanced. So to have justice and the wheel of fate pop out, individuals who thought they would never be brought to justice, criminals perhaps, they're going through nightmare situations because they are facing consequences to their behavior. Finally, at long last, they are facing consequences to their behavior. On a lesser note, there are individuals out there who are having to come to terms with their own insecurities or their own shortcomings, or what part they played in events that they might be thinking over now, such as past events involving you and the breakdown of a relationship or something like that, because there's some breakdown of trust that happened with this King of Pentacles. So this could be a breakdown of faith in the relationship with this King of Pentacles. If this is your ex, you could have lost faith, you could have lost trust. This person could have broken your faith and your trust in them by their own behavior. Or this person might feel that you broke the faith and the trust in the relationship because they might be under the impression that you were unfaithful, and it is because they allowed themselves to entertain, or they chose to entertain third parties, plain and simple. They were either romantically involved with these third parties, although I don't really see that. It's mostly people in their ear. That's what it feels like. So it's like, you know, their mother was in their ear, or their sister was in their ear, or their ex, their baby mama was in their ear. They had too little boundaries to people who they should have had stronger boundaries to, and they had too strong of boundaries to the reality of a relationship with you. So again, this could be someone who you were in a romantic relationship with, or this could be someone who was like your boss, someone who, you know, who didn't treat you well in the job. This could be you. We could be talking about your own behavior. The breakdown of trust in a relationship, if it happens over and over again, you might be the problem. You might be the type to, you know, have a wandering eye or get bored and then start entertaining third parties. And while you might not go all the way with cheating on someone if you're in a committed relationship at that point, that might be something you want to look at, because emotional cheating is a thing. So, I don't know. Take it as it resonates, but that's the energy here, okay? There's someone who's rethinking the breakdown of a relationship in regards to their own actions being put in, evidence being brought forward, things are being looked at. It's someone's job. Someone was doing their job. There were misunderstandings. There were lies being told, or there were lies being accepted as truths. There was thievery going on. It was either thievery of time, emotions, joy, you know, a relationship breaking down and people staying in a relationship that's no longer healthy to be in. That can be a thief of all of those things for everyone involved, right? It doesn't have to be a very heavy, you know, he said, she said, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. It doesn't have to be that. Both parties can be wrong, and both parties can be at fault. And then in some places there can be straight up no fault, right? But this doesn't feel like a legal matter as far as the relationship between you two. So it might be your ex-husband or your current husband, but I'm feeling more like this is someone who you worked with, or someone who you worked for, or someone whose job had something to do with the law, or something happened legally, or someone did something at work sneaky. Someone did something sneaky at work. People using, you know, corrupted positions in law, people using their job, criminals with badges. So all of those energies are coming through here. But again, these are very old energies. However of a connection it is to your story. Take it as it resonates. But the Wheel of Fortune is here. The Wheel of Fate. So this King of Pentacles, they could have been talked into or talked out of a relationship with you. Like they could have had interest in pursuing a relationship with you, but then they allowed third parties, possibly even someone from their past, to lie to them, to steer them in another direction. This was unjust, what happened here. Or someone was doing something unjust and imbalanced in the justice system. Okay, it keeps going back to that energy. Lies, jealousy, greed, infidelity, a lack of trust or a low trust situation or environment is what was driving people at the time. Okay, the moon, secrets, illusions, divine feminine, path of illumination, Four of Pentacles. The Empress is poking out here. Greed. What about this Four of Pentacles? Judgment. Okay, yeah, justice and judgment. So this is giving people are under judgment. People from your past are under judgment, particularly people who were lying to you, stealing from you, people who plotted on you, people who gathered in groups against you, people who were greedy toward you, people who are get what coming to them. Those people in particular might be working in law. There might be a lot of corruption in some sort of legal system in like a small town or something like that, where it would be easier to get away with stuff like that. Individuals are under judgment. They're facing judgment. The Wheel of Fortune, justice, and judgment. People are being found guilty of crimes in court. That's what's happening right now. That's current energy. It's fated events. This is the universe paying them in kind for the energy they have been putting out into it. They themselves did not develop trustworthy, positive relationships, so they have no trustworthy, positive relationships to depend upon when their day comes, when they fall in hard times, when they need to trust someone. They, lo and behold, have no one to trust because they themselves have been completely untrustworthy. That's the energy here